All right, guys, TacticalRab here back again today. Hope you are all doing well and enjoying your day so far. And welcome to the Breaking Point podcast, episode number 4 now, I believe. We are certainly moving in this one. Joined by two wonderfully handsome gents once again. Got Lionman, of course. EasyMac stepping out for this week. He will be back certainly in due course. But a very special guest indeed, Zach Zdenia, joining us today. Fresh off a qualification of the Challengers Elite. Also newly engaged to his now fiancée. So massive congratulations, man. Yeah, so much stuff to discuss today. Obviously, it's been a crazy, I'm sure, couple of weekends for you.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's good though. I like it this way. I like having success. It's fun.
Yeah, back to it, right? After, not the easiest off-season, everything. Last year wasn't the best on the Legion. We don't necessarily have to talk about that. Yeah, all good. So a lot of new users in the last, a lot of new listeners, the last episode on Spotify, available on some other platforms as well. If you'd like to check it out over there, feel certainly free to do so. Let's get on with things then. So really the elephant in the room, the big topic of the week has been the whole league play discussion. Finally in the game, it was rumored, okay, when's it going to be coming out? Is it going to come out before the league begins? To me, that's certainly a decent step, right? Actually having a league play by the time the CDL launches. There are some positive things. You go into the game right now, you actually can see the schedule, you can see the standings in the game itself. But league play, to a lot of people, hasn't lived up to expectations. Especially yesterday for launch, there were a lot of issues regarding the things that aren't banned in the game state, which actually they've now revoked, or at least they've banned a lot more things than were banned yesterday, which is a step in the right direction. Good to see some transparency and some responsivity from the Tryout guys. But there's also the issues that, okay, there's no elo system. We don't really know how it works in terms of getting a rank. No one can really work it out. People are getting put in Masters. People are getting put in, Awakening, 10k deal, whatever he said, getting chucked into competitor. That's not ideal. That's not what we want. And also hack has been an issue as well. Like, obviously, if you're on PC, that's probably going to be a problem. So, yeah, intrigued to hear your thoughts, Lion, on, yes, we have league play in the game. It's not really what we wanted, but, I guess it's still there.
Yeah, for me, league play, I know this is not the same for everyone, but for league play, I enjoyed just the fact that there was a 4v4 mode in the game that has rules that are exactly like competitive play, and that was my favorite part of league play always. But then we look at like World War II, where the elo system was just so much better. And so I'm just, to this day, I wonder why we can't just copy and paste that system into this game, and it'll just be automatically better, which is a problem, but it's fine. I haven't actually played it yet because, I'm quite on and off with COD at the moment. I'm big on competitive COD, but I don't really play it as much anymore. So, I actually need to give it a go. What do you reckon, Zach?
Dude, I could go on for hours about league play and stuff like that, but I mean, my biggest thing is there's no incentive to play. Like, you have this little rank, but like, throw something else in there. Like World War II, you had a helmet, right? And it's like whatever. It's like if you won your qualified in whatever, I can't remember how it went, but you got like a gold helmet that had like Call of Duty on it or whatever. But like there's so much potential for them to put like advertisement in the game about the league, or like just something like a weapon skin for getting like Master Division or something like that. Just to like incentivize people to play. Because at the end of the day, that's what people want. I'm a big League of Legends player, and I try and climb the ranks in League to get the skins for the characters. And it's like, it's just something so small, so simple that, I mean, I'm no like designer or like a developer. I can't imagine that's very hard in terms of like time management and stuff like that. But that's just my 2 cents. I mean, it needs a bit of work, obviously, and I think they'll do it over time. But right now, I'm disappointed. But I've come to like expect that over the last few years. I've never really got my hopes up too much about league play.
Yeah.
But at least, like Lionman said, at least it's something that is our rules, and we can play in our spare time.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, go on, Lion.
I agree with the whole incentivizing thing as well. I think having camos or things to work towards is such a key part of like most games. Just the customization and being able to like show off what you've worked for as well. I think is super important.
100%. Yeah, I see the helmet. I see the helmet in the chat. It's something so small like that. Just somebody might see it in like a public match that you go into, and then there's the Advanced Warfare ones. The Advanced Warfare ones were so good. They were so vibrant and like noticeable, which is I think is the key.
Yeah, but that game was just crazy in general. Like the
Yeah.
customization in that game was second to none.
There was like
awesome.
blue helmets and red helmets and
like
alien heads and
you
stuff.
could be an alien or a kraken. Or like,
yeah,
stupid, man. I love that game. But they fell short of the mark in some areas, but I think they did good to get the game out and to also give the league some promotion by putting in the schedule and table and all that. So I did like some parts they put in for sure.
Yeah, there's so much potential there. As like, I think the incentivization thing is a massive thing. I remember Austin had a great idea last week that if you're watching the league, you get rewards now for watching the league. You could get like a skin or a camo or whatever that happens when you watch the league, but then depending on your rank in league play, you then get a certain variant of it, or you can upgrade it over time, or like anything like that would be good. We've had it in previous games with, we're then looking at, I saw a tweet from Vonderhaar. He was saying, I didn't realize that World War II was the like fan favorite ranked system. I thought it was Black Ops 2, which okay, I kind of get it, but at the same time, if you're really focusing on the community, you would know that people would prefer an Elo system, right? So just that kind of comment to me maybe said maybe they're not super in tune with what they wanted. In another tweet about some of the reasons like deadlines, accessibility, this type of stuff, they couldn't make it how they wanted it to. And I appreciate there's time pressure, of course, and they probably told you've got to get it out by the time the league begins. So maybe they will add some things over time. I guess at the very least, it's a step up from what we had last year when there was nothing going on. CDL playlist, baby. No ranks or any incentives at all. So I see a lot of negativity about it. I think they will step it up over time. But certainly an unfortunate situation as it is right now. But also on that vein, I suppose, I saw a few tweets talking about, the hackers in league play as it was yesterday. We did get some confirmation earlier this week regarding anti-cheat coming to the game. It's a pretty interesting announcement. They talked about anti-cheats from the Warzone perspective, but they did also say that it's coming to Call of Duty more generally. The way they phrased it was quite interesting. They basically said anti-cheat enhancements are coming, which implies it's already in the game. I imagine it just is in the game and doesn't do anything. But they banned another 60,000 cheaters or something as well. So good to finally see some transparency. But at the same time, how long is it going to be till we actually have anything of substance here? But once again, a small step in the right direction, maybe. Lion.
I don't really know what that means. Enhancements. I see what you're saying. It's maybe in the game and it's not doing anything, but also I just don't think it's in the game. So what's the point in saying it that way? Anyway, that's exactly what the game needs. And if they can't get it to work by the end of the year is pretty much chalked. That's it. So they need something in the next month or two to make league play, Warzone, and even competitive and pro level games fair, because we just really don't know what's happening. So
Challenges is a big one, obviously, and
Challenges is huge because there's no enforcement.
Yeah.
So it's just really hard, and I assume Zach, it's extremely hard for you as well because you never really know who you're playing.
Exactly. It's very hard to trust people, whether as much credit as they have, they could have been to events. They could have had been in a pro team. There's nothing stopping them cheating, and there's no way to find out. I mean, we've come together as the top amateur teams, and we all use a program called MOS now, which is something that was used in Rainbow Six. I'm not too aware of what it does. I just know it captures your screen and captures the apps you're using. So in the elite qualifier this past weekend, all the teams that were in the running to get top 8, everyone had MOS downloaded to prove and that bit of security, confidence that everyone is actually playing fairly. But again, you could play a GB, you could play a 2K, and you could run into a hacker, and there's literally nothing you can do. And then on top of that, if somebody's good with it, and they hide it, there's literally no way you'll ever know that they're hacking. I've mentioned it to my team a few times. Imagine someone just uses the hacks in Search and Destroy, no streams on, nothing like that, and they just say where you're going on your attacks every round to their team. They're like, oh, they're going A. There's no way you can, get them to admit they're hacking. So it's just it's a rough place to be for sure right now. Hopefully it gets better. Especially being in the Elite Series. Hopefully, no one's hacking in there, so should be good now.
Yeah, it's so frustrating, right? That's actually interesting about that MOS thing, because I heard about that yesterday or the day before, the people using it, and it's just another thing, right? Like, it has to be it has to be a third-party company, let's just say, creating the anti-cheat. I guess it is like that in CS. I guess you've got FaZe, you've got ESEA, they have their own anti-cheat, but obviously we don't have the same, given how overarching Activision are in terms of their reach and how much they control the league from a top-down perspective, like not what Valve do in CS. You would imagine that they'd have something like this in place.
And this was arranged by players and coaches. This wasn't anything to do with Activision. This was coaches, and I think it was like directed by Zinx and the Built by Gamers coach. I saw them posting a lot about it, and they were just sick of it. They were sick of like the accusations and people potentially cheating. So they were just like, right, we found a program. Everyone, get your teams to download it. We've had enough. So respect to them for actually doing something about it. But hopefully Activision and COD League can actually get something in place.
Yeah, fair play. That's good to hear. Do you think that, like, in any of those early Challengers Cups, like, you faced anyone who was cheating? Like, because I remember those first ones, there was some issue, right, with the pro points, right, where like you didn't get the pro points, your speeding was bad. So maybe
that set off the whole the whole shebang of the year, not getting them pro points, because that really screwed us. But the first team we lost to in the first 2K, which was like, I think they were called like Electric Aim, Tyrannicide. Like, I speed to Tyrannicide a lot, and like we scrim against them a lot. So I don't think they were cheating at all. I just think like they were better than us at the time. Obviously that team that I was on with Doug and Goonjar, obviously we weren't very good. So I think we lost fair and square there. But I've seen some clips of some people, and some people losing to hackers, and it's not fair at all to put all your time and energy into something just to lose that way. Losing's like bad enough on its own, but losing like out of your control to like a hacker is, to be honest, it's annoying.
Really, yeah. So maybe on a more bright note to move on to Smokes, right? Even though maybe it's not really a bright note, I don't really know. But Smokes right now are not in the game. A lot of people have been suggesting, especially regarding that opening kickoff classic, S&D a bit boring, no snipers, no smokes. What are we going to do about it? So a step in the right direction here, it seems. Once again, the third time we've talked about that today. Not a complete fix, not a perfect solution, but something better than what it was. They reckon that they have fixed some of the aim assist issues. So you'd be inside a smoke. If you're shooting someone outside of the smoke, you can get aim assist. They would not get aim assist on you. Supposedly, they've just, I think, completely removed aim assist from any engagement. Which, maybe they could have added it, or I don't really know. Seems like a step in the right direction. The concern is, of course, though, that this one-way smoke issue has not yet been resolved. And I'm not really sure what is causing this, obviously, because I'm not a developer. But in previous CODs, we didn't really have this to the same effect. But in this COD, there's just something which seems to mean that the smoke grenades just don't work like they should. And even with this like aim assist smoke fix, I imagine like they're not coming back anytime soon, Zed. Unless this one-way smoke gets resolved. If it does, maybe we can get snipers back and we have a better meta. But it's a tough spot right now.
Yeah, I've not seen anything about smokes. I think I remember at the start of the game when everyone kind of figured out that was a thing. Ake said something that I completely agreed with, and he said that the smoke should be like they are in CS, where they're so dense that if you were to walk through a smoke, you get no vision inside it. But if you were to use the smoke and like walk through it, if somebody is on the other side, they will kill you 99% of the time because you're coming out late and they'll see you. Which I completely agree with. I think smoke should be used to block off lines of sights. It shouldn't be used as a method to just, destroy the mechanics of the game, and it just makes it boring. So I always think, like, imagine the smokes were like they are in CS. You were to smoke off a lane that somebody might be sniping, which means you can cross. Nobody has vision. Nobody's really going to be walking through the smoke. So like it just creates that like tactic, like strategic gameplay So you'll see the smokes coming over the top of the map to block off a line of sight. And like I think that'd be a really good idea. I don't know how they could do that, or how it would play out if it was actually a thing. But like as the idea stands, I think it's like our best bet at like making S&D actually fun, which would bring back snipers as well.
I agree with that. That sounds amazing, and I assume if they did that, snipers would come back immediately.
Exactly.
As well,
Yeah.
Same issues. But man, how can I put this? Would it be a problem because the maps in COD are smaller than CS?
Yeah, and the maps suck.
Yeah. You're not a fan?
I just when I think of S&D, I think of Garrison S&D, and when you make a map design that completely like disregards one bomb site, which is almost impossible to go to, like that's not a good map in my opinion. I think of like Black Ops 4 maps. You think of maps like Arsenal, both bomb sites pretty fair. Obviously, there's always going to be one bomb favorable than the other, but to make a bomb site that's like Garrison's, where it's almost impossible, is it needs some work for sure.
Well, Miami's pretty similar, isn't it?
Miami, like B-bomb. I know a lot of teams are starting to figure out that like actually going to the bomb site that's on the beach is actually like a lot more doable than people thought. I remember at the start of the game, everyone would always go like to the other bomb site, but now people actually like making like strats and stuff around going to both. So I actually really enjoy Miami actually, but especially without snipers, makes a lot more like playmaking ability on the map. Yeah,
I was gonna say like that map with snipers is completely different.
Yeah, because it's so easy to snipe that you can't pick any of it. But now you can actually, give a few shoulder peeks and stuff. So don't mind it.
Well, we'll go back to the smokes comment. I think having those walls would be huge because when you watch CS, you see that that's such a big part of the game, blocking off lines of sight, being able to make moves on different areas of the map. Like I think that would be awesome, and we've never really seen that in COD.
No,
and so we should actually give a look and maybe test it out.
There's clearly a reason why CS has been around like 20 odd years, and that's the smoke that they've got. Because you played GBs and stuff before they banned them in the GB rule set like 2 weeks ago. The play, especially let's say Moscow A-bomb site, or it is the A-bomb site. You just chuck a smoke on the site and you run around it, and you just run through the smoke because
you run around the outline of the smoke.
Yeah, exactly.
You just one way everyone.
So it's like fantastic. In CS, if I try that, I'm getting absolutely bodied because I see my gun come out the smoke first. So, I mean, it's just the difference, right? You've got CS, which is actually an S series sport, and then you've got COD, which is like, maybe one day, right? I guess is the question, but at least for now, like them staying out of the game is probably for the better.
Yeah.
Interesting change also was this movement change. They brought it in with the Express thing. Actually, I guess we'll touch on that really quick because you were talking about S&D maps and Garrison being not the best. I mean, even like that A-bomb site, even in 1v1s, it's probably better to just plant B. Like, at least typically the less accessible bomb site might be a better 1v1 bomb site, like on some maps in history. But even on this one, like B still seems to be preferable no matter what you're doing. So, Express is in the game now. I thought maybe by now they would have done an update to say, Express is in the rule set for the CDL, which of course starts tomorrow, as you guys are probably watching this episode. So not really sure what that hasn't happened yet. Maybe it will have done by the time this comes out, but your guys' Challengers Elite is beginning today, and it's not with Express in the map set, right? So I imagine you probably want Garrison gone, but I'm not really sure why that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, I have no idea why. S&D was from what I remember watching, because I didn't really play much back then, but on Black Ops 2 it was a really fun map, and it was played a lot. I mean, I've played it a few times now, and with the mantling and how high you can mantle stuff, you can literally just jump on the train. So I don't know if maybe pros didn't like that, because you can just in Black Ops 2 you would always have to like go around and stuff, but now you can just go straight over the top. So maybe they just decided they didn't like it and they didn't want to put it in, because obviously at the end of the day the pros are going to be the ones that decide whether it's in or not, how it was last year as well. So I mean, I guess only time will tell, really.
Yeah, that is interesting, because I mean, I've played it a bit and you can jump on the train easier than you could before, but it's not outrageously easier. Like there was in Black Ops 2, you'd have to jump on a little hop up and then hop onto the train in most spots, And now on some positions, you can just do that in one go. But to me, I don't really think it changes the map that much. Like being on top of that train is not like the best spot. You're basically in the open in most
you're
situations.
to everyone, yeah.
So I don't know. I see what you mean about the mantling though. Like that could be an issue in some situations, but I don't know. I still hope it comes back. I've enjoyed playing it so far.
Yeah, I don't really have much to add. I just think they should give it a go and see how it works, because you can't really tell how good a map is until you see it in the rotation.
That's maybe another thing. Maybe they just haven't had the time to practice the map enough to decide whether it's in or not. Because the worst thing they can do is add a map they haven't tried enough and it'd be bad. Because then you look like idiots at the end of the day. So, maybe they just haven't tried it enough. As logical.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, I guess there's I don't know, if Garrison 80-90% of teams are winning every defense or whatever, or like they're winning 80%, 90% of defense rounds, then probably someone's got to go. But the topic I was going to get onto was actually this movement change that came in. So people, I think the initial clip I saw of it was Morks running around on Express, and they made it so effectively you kind of get stuck in the mud when you jump around the map. It's and maybe they also increase the slide duration. It feels like you slide a little bit further than you did. Don't know if I'm just feeling that, but I've heard some people saying it. But yeah, the jumping, you jump around, now you kind of get stuck in the grounds. It's an interesting one. I don't really know how much it matters, because a gun like the XM4, which is dominant weapon anyway, you can't really jump around too much with that anyway, because your aim goes haywire. So maybe it's not the biggest deal, but it's interesting to see them make a change like this, because they didn't actually confirm that it had happened until like 24 hours after they put the update in. So I don't know if that's really affected anything, Zed, or you just feel like it's just got something you've got to adapt to again as a COD player. No,
yeah, it's a weird one, because I don't think that was the most broken movement mechanic we have right now. So I'm interested as to why they changed that. Sliding is 10 times worse. With how fast you pop out, like the Shotzzy slide where he does it really quick, like with how quick that is, and you get behind a head like a heady and you do that, like that is disgusting. Like how quick you can kill someone without when they see you on their screen. So yeah, I mean jumping doesn't really like matter too much. I mean, I didn't really notice it too much in the Elite. If you jump in a gunfight, you're probably dead anyway because somebody's sliding at you. So it's a weird one to me.
I actually haven't seen much in it at all, and I haven't played since this new update, so I don't really know. But
it's not a massive difference, so
yeah. But it sounds like it's a pointless one, and like with players like Shotzzy who have that crazy ability to slide cancel, I assume all it's done is just made that more OP. So what's the point in that?
Yeah, and if you, and I could be wrong, but if you jump slide, which is what most people do, you don't get stuck. So it's like you only get stuck if you just
sliding.
Yeah, if you jump slide, you never get you never get that stuck in the mud like animation.
Wasn't that in the beta? Like the beta had that, and then they removed it.
Yeah, you could just go forever. Yeah,
and that's bad.
I remember that. Yeah.
Well, you can't go forever now, but you can like. That's the way I figured out to counter the stuck in the mud. But I mean, yeah, like I mean, I do it all the time. I'll jump, slide, change class, like to the if you do like a speed rush, and it counters that whole thing. So yeah, I'm confused on why they did that.
Yeah. It's just one of these things that's kind of crazy to me. They're like, did they ask any pros? Did they ask anyone like, oh, is this the thing that should be changed? They just do it anyway and see what happens.
Years, think about like Black Ops 3. Remember like the slide punch?
Slide, baby. Oh yeah, that
was YY at first, and then they changed it to slide. And then they changed it back to a different version of the YY, and it's like
it was Y slide Y was what it was. Yeah, that was the movement at the end. But yeah, it was the punch for a time. I see people doing that in this game as well, like the slide. Maybe it's not slide punch, jump punch or something. I see people do.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what that is.
I remember watching Lucas stream at the beginning of the game, and he was doing it a lot. And I was like, why is he doing that? Like, is that like a mechanic?
Yeah, I did see Luca playing that as well. Yeah.
Black Ops 3 one was so satisfying. Just why?
Oh, you went so far. I loved it.
Yeah.
Everything about
those days are past.
The camos in that game.
Well, that brings us on to a good topic line. You made a phenomenal segue there. So let's start first, just before we get into the camos, with the team merchandise. That was announced first. your beloved Paris Legion have done some merchandise that maybe didn't necessarily rub people up the right way. Some of them is pretty good. I thought the Seattle one was actually kind of nice. They had the skyline going on.
Yeah.
The Florida one, I think they've done a solid job as well. The OpTic one isn't too bad that I've just seen announced today. So, okay, teams having more creative control, definitely a good thing. There has been some concerns about if you want to get them shipped to the UK, you're going to be paying pretty extortionate export fees, which some of the teams, you can imagine they could control. Also, there's issues that now because they're on the individual team sites, you cannot like order a bulk package. Like if you want the Paris one and the Los Angeles Grillers one, then you can't just order both and pay the same shipping costs. You have to order them from each team's website and then pay like twice the shipping costs. That's a bit annoying. But the design, right? So this is where Lion comes into play. The Paris Legion one was certainly questionable. Maybe Omar will chuck it up on the screen for you guys watching on YouTube right now. But it has a nice little line across the middle. And given all the fantastic work that Lion's done on the designing side the last several seasons, you would imagine they could have done somewhat of a better job than this.
Honestly, I think their in-game character jersey is better than their actual jersey.
Way better. You can't even compare it. If I was gonna say, you know how every other jersey with the line, they've kind of used that line out down the middle to make it relate to the city somewhat. They've just put a line, and that's it. That's the whole jersey, and I can't believe it. Other ones
so much potential. So much potential.
Man, there's something about Paris that just rubs me the wrong way. I don't know what it is, but ever since this end of Modern Warfare, when they dropped your team and they've come back with, I don't know. I didn't even want to get into it because it's hard.
I tweeted this the other day. I feel sorry for the social media people because the woman that was, I don't know if it's still the same people, but the woman that ran the social media, she was really nice when I was on Paris. So I hope it's not her because that jersey was not okay. Yeah. So I hope it's not her. Okay.
This is probably a topic. This is a topic we probably shouldn't talk about too much because we're just roasting teams now.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. There's other ones that weren't great either. Like, I don't want necessarily to rip into Paris Legion, but it's just question, the way they handle their entire off season is just like, what are you doing, lads?
Like you said, I really do like the Seattle one with the city. I think that's a really cool way to put the city on the jersey and advertise what it actually means to play for Seattle and stuff. So I do really like, and I like Florida's as well. I think they have the Kraken, right? Is it the Kraken on theirs? Yeah. That's really cool. I like that.
Yeah. I also liked Minnesota. I liked I think it was the white one.
Yeah, the white one is really nice. The purple weird clash colours, but yeah.
Yeah. But I do like the way that teams have used that middle strip. They've kept the same template as all the other teams, but they've managed to make it their own and personalize it with their own thing. And so that was cool. And that was the problem with Paris is that theirs is just two colors and a logo, and that's nothing. So Seattle's with the city down the middle, ROKKR with the weird shapes on it. There was a lot you could do. Not much, but there was a lot that could have been done. And I think maybe they should have made the hoodies that come with the each team, the ones that are in the game, because then it would have given it even more incentive to buy. Because
that would have been really cool. Yeah.
And they're actually kind of sick. I think they look sick.
Yeah.
Or even in future years, do it the other way around, right? Where you then put the actual in real life ones then in the game, right? So instead of, I don't know, there's so much stuff that could be done.
I don't understand why you wouldn't though, because it gives each free promo, just like having a gun skin. It gives you free promo that's the thing on the screen the whole time. You're looking at it. You may as well have your team's logo on the side.
It's literally an infinite money glitch.
Yeah,
it is an infinite money glitch.
Literally GTA infinite money glitch.
Stupid, man. I don't.
Well, that's a perfect segue then, because the next thing is, of course, Team CAMOS. As you just discussed, they come into the game this week. The entire pack is in the game. I remember back in Black Ops 3, the camos, Black Ops 3, they were pretty damn nice. They weren't spectacular. They got the job done. But also, you could buy an entire region's camos in like one pack, right? You bought the North American Pro League for like, I don't know, 10 quid or something, and the entire European Pro League for 10 quid, and the same for APAC. But this time around, of course, to effectively infinite money glitch the website, every single team pack you have to pay like a tenner for, which, okay, is what it is. You've got, some of it's kind of nice, right? The outfit's kind of nice, some of the things are kind of nice, but the camos, as I'm sure Lion's going to elaborate on, are the most important thing on your screen, right? Like, the gun is the most important thing. If you get killed by someone, you see a kill cam with a camo, that's the thing that really makes you be like, yo, I need to buy that. Maybe, you know, character models don't matter so much to me. But the camos, I think, were some of the biggest letdowns, right? Because some people were suggesting in the comments when I talked about it, like, yeah, you don't have to, you can put the sticker on the gun, so you don't necessarily need the logo there. But I mean, just the camos on the whole are very underwhelming. They look like you've got your 30 headshots and now you've got this camo and you're soon going to move on from it. Like, I would much rather rock like gold or something than what that is. So yeah, Lion, far away.
Yeah. So I don't have a problem with the price. I think the price is fine. You can, if you made the camos worth buying, it's okay. And also, I think the camos, so we're going to start off slow. I think the camos should be obtainable through watching, obviously. If you watch a team for 3 matches in a row, you watch the whole game, you get the camo in game. I think obviously that should be part of the game. And then also with league play, you reach a certain rank. You play against an official player and you beat them, you get the camos, stuff like that. Like, it would make getting these camos sick. But also, if the camos were just better, like we've seen for the last 2 years, the way that they make camos is team colors in a shape, and that's the camo. And to me, if you look at CS, I mean, CS does it kind of differently. They have the stickers, but the stickers you can put anywhere, whereas here you only get like, 3 places to put it or something? Do you know?
Yeah, so 3 places.
Yeah. And so I think if we can, maybe, Omar, if you pull up the camos that I did, yeah, they're just concepts, but I know for a fact that they could do it given the time and they actually put effort into making them and making it for the community. It could be done, but they just need to hire the right people to do so. And so I think the most important part about a camo is creating that connection between people who don't follow Call of Duty and the Call of Duty League, and showing them these teams and why they're so important to the game. And so if they have these sick camos, people are going to be like, oh, they mean something. They mean something to Activision. They're in the game. Their team must be pretty good if their camo looks that cool as well. And then they'll grind for it. They'll watch the CDL. They'll suddenly become a fan, kind of like how we did back in the day. So I don't know. I just think the level of exposure that the teams are getting is not quite enough for what is possible, essentially. And not enough effort is being put in currently. But yeah.
Yeah, I saw the 100 Thieves and the Atlanta FaZe one, and all it is a different color red. And honestly, I'm not, like I said before, I'm no designer, but that's unacceptable, to be honest. Just to change the color. Again, there's so much potential. I mean, you could even do, for every winning like team that wins a home series, you could make a special camo that people can pay for, and people are going to buy that. If Atlanta FaZe win a home series and you make like a gold version of their camo with their logo on it, people are buying it. If you make let's say Dallas Empire, they won champs and it was like a black diamond theme. You can make a black. I've seen you've got the purple diamond and the diamond in this game. You can make a black diamond Empire skin. Charge $15 for it. People are paying for it because it's special. It means something. These camos. I mean, I've not bought a camo, and I buy camos every year, so I'll stick with my purple diamond because it's 10 times better than anything they've brought out. So yeah, disappointing.
100%. What do you reckon, Rab?
Yeah, I wish there was a way to like buy the camos on their own somehow, because I don't really care about the other stuff, but like the camos are the most important thing. And I mean, I wouldn't buy them anyway because they're not good at all. But there is like, I don't know, there's just so much potential. The reactive ones you made are like, that is the way to do it, man. There's the normal cameras in the game. That's what you get for playing and grinding the game. But if I watch, as you say, like watching the league, getting camos for doing that, if I watch certain teams play, would be so cool. Like, you'd get a random drop or something, and all of a sudden, let's say you're watching, like every the odds are that one every 20 matches you watch, you get a skin dropped or something. I don't know what it'd be. And you get like a Toronto Ultra skin or something. You might have some indication to be like, okay, like Toronto Ultra, maybe I'll become a bit of a fan of their team because I'm using that skin on my 74U or whatever. I'll tune in next time they play. The skin's actually cool because it does something. It's something which not any other people in my games actually have, something which is going to stand out. I mean, these are just the things that it's a good thing it's there. It's great. We're in year 2 of the franchise era. Next year's title, potentially Infinity Ward again. We don't really know. It's maybe going to be Sledgehammer, but I think there was some rumors that like Activision are like, both of you, these studios, race to get your game done in time, and then whoever wins will get it out. And of course, Sledgehammer's done a good job in the past as well, in theory. So, but there's just the concern, right, that this is the Treyarch title. This is the year that everyone waits for and is like, okay, they're going to really kill everything. And they've ticked the boxes, but they've not like gone above and beyond what we were probably hoping for here. So maybe things will change throughout the rest of the season. The season hasn't even begun yet, so maybe some benefit of the doubt. But as you say, the team camos are now in the game. Like the way I see it, it's a similar thing to League play, and that Vonderhaar saying that we had deadlines. They were telling us we got to get these out by launch, so we're just going to do whatever we can to get them out by launch, regardless of how good they actually look, right? So, I guess it's kind of frustrating, but
I think my problem is they've brought out packs. For example, the anime camo. It's actually good. It's actually a good design. So, like, I mean, I don't watch anime personally, but it's a good design. So how can they not do that for the actual team camos? And I forget who said it to me, but imagine having the different color bullets for the team you represent. If you have OpTic, you have green bullets coming out your gun. Something so small that they've done in the game already. But like, if you're in a map and you see green bullets like fly past you, somebody might go, "Oh, green's my favorite color. How do I get that? Buy an OpTic camo." Who's OpTic? There you go. There's a new fan. Like, it's so easy. It's so easy to do. And then I look at other games like Valorant. They kill it with their camos. Absolutely kill it. But yeah, I mean, I guess Call of Duty they're making their money. So probably not their biggest concern right now. They make billions anyway doing it. So who knows?
Yeah, for me, customization though was key. Like, it's just so key. And the one thing I've noticed about the difference between COD esports and like CS:GO and Valorant is that they kind of put their players and competitive on a pedestal, and so it's like they're always going to get more attention than other esports because they're so, and so like, they'll get camos, they'll get stuff like that, they'll get treated nicely, unlike especially COD. So I don't know. I think just we're gonna have to wait another year and see what happens. I got faith in Sledgehammer though. If it's Sledgehammer, I don't mind. I do not have faith in Infinity Ward.
No, neither. It is what it is. But I think you're exactly right. Especially those other games like Counter-Strike and Valorant, for example. The alignment is there between the developer and the studio and the publisher and the intentions of the league. Because the way I see this is like they were just told you got to do these camos, but the people actually making them aren't like, they're not fans. They don't really have too much. Maybe they don't have too much resting on the line of the league being successful or whatever. So they'll just do whatever they need to do to get the job done, rather than making something which is, that maybe they're not incentivized by the success of the league or something like that. And if they were, maybe they'd see it in a different lens. I don't really know. But it's a tough one. Interestingly, in the reveal of some of those camos, it seemed like someone had a flag on their back and was running down Miami with it. People were looking at that saying, okay, maybe CTF's coming into the game, maybe as a limited time mode, maybe as a full-time mode, who really knows? But there's been a lot of discussion from your best friend, Doug, especially that, CTF should come back into the game. It should be the permanent third mode. If it does arrive, personally, I don't see anything changing. I think Control's here to stay for the rest of the year. But if it was here, would they be tempted to do something about it, especially given that maybe you can look a few years ago back to something like Black Ops 3, Advanced Warfare, when we had 4 game mode metas. So it's possible that, okay, you have Control map 3, CTF map 4, then back to Surge. I doubt that's going to happen, but I wonder your take, Zed, on if CTF is in the game. Do you like it to Control? Is it too difficult to make sure it's good? I think it's a tough one.
Yeah, it's a hard one to to put into the game so late and not have it off the start, because it would take a lot of time to actually, genuinely practice that game mode and make sure it's good enough to be like in the league and in the meta and stuff. So honestly, going off CTF a little bit, uplink has always been my favorite, and I think uplink was the best for clutch moments and created the most excitement. Control in Black Ops 4 was also so fun, but CTF, like we had it in World War II, and I don't know if you guys remember a game that Unilad had, but they had a game that went on for about 40 minutes because it went to like double overtime.
Fully on our den, and they were just camping back spawn.
I think it was actually. What was the map called? It was like the smaller map with the cannons.
Yeah,
Flak Tower.
Oh,
Flak Tower. And it was that one. I remember watching. I was like, Jesus Christ! Like just. So yeah, CTF's like imagine CTF on Garrison. It's just I don't know, dude.
That would not work.
Jesus.
Don't want to think about it.
Yeah, I'm 50-50 on CTF. It can be good, it can be bad. It was good in Black Ops 3, but I think it was because Black Ops 3 was, jetpacks, and that created the gunfights and stuff like that. Unless you played against Swanee, he would sit at the back of the map. That was always fun.
As well, I remember.
Yeah, Marky B sitting right at the back. Yeah, sad idiot, man.
He went 9-0 in a league match. I don't know if you remember that. But he didn't die for a whole league match. I think it's probably the first time that anyone's ever done that. But he was 9-0 sitting back with a man of war on that back rock on Stronghold.
Yeah, it's just
holding off the boys.
See, like stuff like that makes me not want to see CTF. But then again, you see other times. I think it was like there was a game on Black Ops 3 where it might have been like Splice or Rise or something like that, and it was on Breach, and CTF it was clutch, and it went down to the wire, and everyone loved it. So yeah, it's like I don't know. It'd have to suit this game. I don't know how well it'd suit this game, but it would have to be perfect. And given what we've got so far, I don't think it will be. So
yeah, to start off for me, I think that they put that guy running with a CTF flag in the promo video. I think either that was an accident or it was promotion for them releasing it as a pub game mode and not actually competitive. But my opinions on it, if it was going to be competitive, I think maps are key, first of all. And so maps like Raid and Standoff, if they brought those in to be CTF maps, I think it could work perfectly.
Yep.
But also you've got to take into account if there are smokes, that changes lanes. If you introduce or like the different mechanics on these maps, like how will the slide cancel and all that, and like the double sliding, whatever, actually change the speed in which you get the flags and everything. So personally, I would rather it just stay out of the game, and if they could, find a way for uplink to be in there. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, it was gridiron in World War II, right? Like,
yeah,
you guys
good.
tried it just didn't work. Yeah,
it wasn't good. I remember I lost 2 under-18s in the beginning of World War II, and that almost chalked my year. But I carried on grinding. But gridiron wasn't fun. I think at the beginning there was something they had like portals in the ground, like on the floor. And
that's what it was.
They need to be in the sky and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a weird one. I see a picture of the OpTic van in the chat. That's another clutch one that made CTF really, really good. But that was scripted. That was meant to happen.
But that's exactly right. Like a map, if Standoff comes back as a map, you'd imagine, okay, perfect for CTF, but you don't really know. And even with maybe the spawns change, as you say, maybe the pacing on the map's a little bit different. If Standoff was back and they bring back slums, then okay, well, maybe we could just play Raid Standoff Slums 3 CTF maps, and we know it's going to play well and we don't have to worry too much. But I mean, that'd be pretty funny if they just have to bring back Black Ops 2 maps for us to even have a chance of a decent rotation. But
thinking about it, I think Standoff would be really good for all 3 game modes on this game.
Oh my god, man!
I think it would be. It is the perfect map with how Raid's been, and like I was skeptical of Raid at first, but like I love Raid. Like Raid's one of my favorite maps to play on this game so far. There's a few spawns here and there that probably need fixing, but it's 10 times better than every other map. So I'd be really excited to see Standoff, because thinking back to Black Ops 2, I think, in my opinion, Standoff was better than Raid for the competitive game modes. So
100%.
Like with how Raid's adapted to this game, I think Standoff will be amazing. So hopefully, fingers crossed, they bring that back.
Slums would be the same. Like imagine Slums Hardpoint. It'd be beautiful.
Yeah, I remember Slums was in Modern
Black
Warfare
Ops
or was it in Black Ops 4?
3
It was in
and Black
BO3
Ops
and
4.
BO4, but not as competitive. It was just
It wasn't good on Black Ops 4 because 5v5 was just hectic.
Yeah, no, it was not going to work.
It was awful. But yeah, we're back to 4v4, so hopefully these maps kind of make sense. So
yeah,
we'll have to see. So, moving on from that, interesting last weekend, we had the Challengers Elite qualifiers. Yourself, of course, qualified for the league. A few interesting teams got through. I guess we can check them up on the screen for those of you watching on YouTube right here. The European region, pretty much as expected, most of the European stuff. There was definitely some controversy in the final match regarding against some Germans, and there was some hacking accusations going back and forth, as it tends to be. But in the North American region, where Zed, of course, is playing, you guys managed to make it in. Zed, Dens, Jerd, and Tay, that new squad. Pretty interesting, right? Personally, I hadn't heard of this Tay kid. He hops in, he's dropping numbers, gets you guys in. I'll just run through the teams that qualified real quick in the North American region. Paul X, Zaptius, Gravity, Venom, of course, the Wester squad, the BBG guys, and I won't bother. We'll just chuck them up on screen. Otherwise, it's too many names to say. But Zed, fair play. I mean, difficult start to the season, obviously, and you now get to a point where you're in the Challengers Elite Stage 1. And congrats, first of all.
Thank you. I mean, you're not the only one that didn't hear a Tay. I had absolutely no idea who he was. When we lost last week with Gunjar, and obviously the cutoff was Thursday, we knew we didn't have enough pro points to make a top 32 seed. So we sat in the call and was like, we have to change, like whether we want to or not. We're gonna have to split. So me, Dens, and Jerd, like I knew Gunjar would like find a team because he has like his connections with Americans and stuff. So I knew it'd be easier for him. And me, Dens, and Jerd, we wanted to stay together. Jerd said to us, like, because he has the least points by quite a bit, he was like, if you guys need to get rid of me to like qualify, like just get rid of me. Like it's all right. But luckily I tweeted out, and I think it was Wiz that's on Cruz's team. He mentioned Tay, and again, I didn't know much about him. He was like, hey, I've got 2,900 pro points. Let me know. And we were like, well, 2,900 is enough. I asked them Ruiz first and a few other players, and they wanted to stay with their respective teams. So I was like, that's fair enough. Like, you can't blame them for staying. Like, they've got their spot. Tay took a risk, obviously, playing with us. So, I mean, he fit in right away. And, yeah, he's incredible. And he's going to have a lot to learn. And I think he can actually be really, really good. So I've got really big hopes for him.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I don't really know what to add because I didn't actually get to see the Challengers Elite, the EU one. Were there any matches that you had that were somewhat close to not allowing you to qualify for the league, or
you disappeared, Zed, for me?
Yeah, my camera just does this. I think it like runs out of battery, even though it's plugged into a battery, which doesn't make sense.
Maybe switch it to the other one.
Oh, the other one.
Yeah, it could
do. Shit! Hold on. Let me. There we go. Am I back?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
There we go. So, starting off the day, we had Fellows team, which I knew. I said to my team, I was like, this might be our hardest match. Like, as a first team, like I looked at the bracket and I was like, we have a hard match first compared to most people. I guess they came out slow. We came out like firing on all cylinders, but we ended up 3-0 in them, and I think that gave us like that confidence we needed. Like we can actually like do this. Like we're not just playing to play. Like we can do this. And then we ended up playing Slammed, which is Insight and Onyx and the young boys. And we actually went 2-0 down, and we bring it all the way back to a map 5. And with Tay, we have about 2 maps S&D practice going into this qualifier. Because both times we had S&D scrims, we had 2 lined up because we only had 4 days practice with Tay. So 2 of them days we had S&D lined up, and both times the teams like decided they didn't want to play, or they had other stuff to do. So we're like, okay, well we've got 2 maps. So the majority of the S&D we played was trying to get the maps we practiced on, because the other maps we had no idea. So we ended up losing to Insight's team in a map 5. Well, the map 5 wasn't really close, but like losing to them map 5 also gave us more confidence because they're a really good team. So we're like, we're not as bad as people think we are. Like people are going to underestimate us. And then we played Hitman's team, and I'm not really familiar with them too much, and I can't really remember who else was on that roster, but we beat them 3-2, and that was a close series. And we won an S&D that we never practiced, so that was interesting. And Tay just went Super Saiyan on that map, so I don't really know what happened there. But then we played Project Evil, which is Legal's team. That was pretty comfortable. We beat them 3-1. I think we lost the S&D, but again, it's one of the maps I've gone off again, haven't I? Yeah,
still good.
Hold up. I'll try and finish. I'll stop blabbering. But yeah, Legal's team. We played an S&D that was really something we hadn't practiced. And then obviously playing Triumph, I was like, okay, well, we've been playing for 11 hours at this point. I had a banging headache. I was like, okay, this is either going to go 3-0 to them or 3-0 to us. There's no in between. Fortunately, it went 3-0 to us. And we played some really, really good COD against them. So a bit of luck here and there, but overall we played really good COD, and I think we did deserve that spot over them for that series especially. But yeah, I mean, it was a long day, a long grueling day. But I'm just glad that Tay got to showcase his abilities, and me, Dens, and Jerd are on the way to where we belong. So it was a good weekend for everyone, I think.
Yeah, great result. I mean, you guys are back underway later today, maybe sometime. I don't know if your first match is today, but yeah. So already kicking off, pretty much runs alongside the Pro League. Then there's a playoffs. You come top 4, you stay in stage 1, or you stay into stage 2, and otherwise you go down to relegation type stuff. What I thought was interesting was, as you say, a few notable teams like Insights guys, Triumph, of course, not making it, Doug's team as well. And I guess I had a question about that. Given you team with Doug, might as well ask it at the start of the year. That Parasite just got picked up to London, and Doug's sitting there as well, probably thinking, okay. And I'm sure all guys that have been in and around the pro scene for the last several years, when that's what we're looking like. They've been around the last several years. They're looking at their potential spot. Do you see what are the chances, do you think, of someone like Doug or like yourself getting picked up? I mean, this season's going to be tough, right? But I guess next season when it expands, there's got to be some people looking at guys like yourself that have some veteran type elements of their character that have been around the Pro League a number of years, especially given the team you put together here with an up-and-comer as well. Seems to make a lot of sense. But
I think for now and for the foreseeable future, I think a lot of franchises are looking at young talent to build into. You see it from London. They picked up Afro. They can't even use him because he's in the UK. So they're just they found a 19-year-old. I think he's 19, and they're gambling that he's going to be the next big thing. And I think a lot of franchises will do that. I think if any of the older players are going to get picked up, it's going to be players like Doug that have the big brands. That's something I've been trying to do a lot recently, is build my brand out and give a company something more than just my gameplay, which is hard. Is so hard, especially when you're so small and there's so many bigger people doing it. But I mean, all you can do is try, right? And you'd beat yourself up if you didn't try. I'd rather try and fail than not try at all. So that's something I'm really trying to put more time into. But I mean, even away from franchises, I mean, we're talking to a few organizations that really like the experience that me, Dens, and Judd have, rather than the young, up-and-coming talent. They, fingers crossed, everything goes to plan, but we could be with an organization within a few weeks, creating more content for Call of Duty fans to watch. So it's a weird one, but as I said, all these players can do is try. It's a hard league to get into, especially when you've been in it and you come out. Once you've been in it once, I mean, I was in it in the early stage of my career. I fell out. I got back in, and I fell out again. So it's like not many players can get in the first time, let alone do it twice. So it's a grueling task, but I mean, this is what the majority of us love. So I wouldn't want it any other way.
No, it's definitely the right attitude as well. I mean, obviously wishing you all the best. If this Challengers Elite Series goes well next season, there's expansion teams. Yep. I think there's a good chance we see you back in the Pro League. Obviously, the 4v4 change was tough as well. So I suppose speaking of the matches then, tomorrow, as you guys are listening or watching this podcast, the Atlanta Home Series, as they're calling it, begins for the Call of Duty League. So there's, I believe, like 10 matches or something, or 11 matches. We'll run through them in a second over the course of this weekend. So there's going to be 2 on, actually it's 10, isn't it? So there's 2 on Thursday, 2 on Friday, 3 on Saturday, 3 on Sunday at the times that maybe Omar can chuck up on screen right now. So we'll run through I suppose, match predictions for the weekends. A lot of these, I think, are pretty damn tough to call. And these, of course, count for seeding for the major tournament that happens at the end of this month. So the first matchup, Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, LA Thieves versus Minnesota ROKKR. This, I think, is a tough one because, both of these teams probably pretty similar in terms of power rankings. I might just lean towards the ROKKR. We'll go through these kind of quick fire. But I don't know, given how LA Thieves looked that first weekend, it wasn't exactly great. And I think ROKKR, they lost a couple of hard points maybe to Toronto, but apparently their hard points have been pretty solid in practice. So I might lean towards ROKKR in like a 3-2. I think they're very disciplined. But going to be a close series, maybe a battle for seconds in this group, given Dallas were expected to be number 1.
I'm leaning towards ROKKR, but remember both of these teams in the kickoff looked kind of rough. LA Thieves getting smoked by OpTic, ROKKR. ROKKR just won over Ultra, didn't they? 3-2. So I think it's probably going to come down to S&D, to be honest, because these two teams in Respawn, they look reasonably similar. But I do like the Priester and Major Maniac duo, to be honest. So I think 3-1 ROKKR.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be a long series. I don't think it'll be a quick one. But I'm gonna go opposite. I'm gonna go LA Thieves. I'm gonna give them some love. Players like Slasher and stuff, they never they don't like losing. So I think hopefully this showcase that happened a few weeks ago maybe was a wake up call for them to maybe get on their grind a bit more. But yeah, I'm gonna go LA Thieves 3-2.
All right, so there we go. Second matchup is Empire versus Surge. I think if there's one match we could just skip, it's probably this one. No, I don't mean to sound like I'm just talking Trust and Surge all the time, but this is a rough one, right? You look at the power rankings that Crone did yesterday with the pros looking at the pros voting effectively on who they think is the best. Empire was the 1, Surge was 12. So to me, it's just interesting, man. Surge don't really seem to put everything together as yet. Empire 3-0'd subliners last weekend. I'm pretty confident they're going to do the same thing here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. More words are needed. Yep, just 3-0. Yeah, straight 3-0. All right, so Friday, first match today is Paris Legion versus OpTic Chicago. This, I don't know if it's going to be closer than people expect, but I think that the Paris Legion team they put together isn't terrible, and maybe OpTic will underrate them to some degree. Still think OpTic will come out on top maybe here 3-1, but I think Legion are maybe going to be more competitive than people would expect.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be I actually think Legion are really good. I actually think they'll be good. I just think OpTic are they're like an elite team this year. I think Paris are good, but OpTic are just better. So I agree. I think 3-1 OpTic. But then we'll talk about Paris later on because they got another game. So
yeah, I agree. I do like Paris this year. They looked good in the kickoff. I do like this squad as well. I think they'll give OpTic a run for their money in hardpoint. But when it comes to the more technical game modes like S&D and Control, I feel like OpTic's just going to handle it quite easily. So I think 3-1, but a close game 4 to OpTic.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. And then we've got the final game of the Friday. It's Atlanta FaZe versus Los Angeles Guerrillas. This is another one which is probably going to be tough for the Guerrillas, right? These guys are still based out of LA. Really, whoever they play, it's going to be a tough matchup, especially with the way the servers are located right now. Los Angeles Guerrillas seem to be they're a pretty sound team, but I just don't think they're going to have the firepower to compete with FaZe. And supposedly FaZe, since their loss to Mutineers, have just been on an absolute rampage in scrims. So I'm expecting FaZe to come out here with the fire and just say, look, forget about the Kickoff Classic. We're here to play, and we're the best team in this pool. So yep. I reckon 3-0, maybe a 3-1. Any thoughts, Lion?
Guerrillas, I'm really not sure how good they are yet. We saw that they played Seattle and they won, didn't they? And Apathy had a really good series. I think if they can play to that level, this series will be somewhat competitive. But other than that, if FaZe are looking like they should look with the talent they have on that team, I think, yeah, it should be very one-sided. 3-0, 3-1 to FaZe.
Yeah, again, FaZe are in that class with Empire and OpTic. They're just going to beat down on everyone below them. So, yeah, it's 3-0.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Interesting matchup then. We've got Guerrillas versus Legion. So two teams that just played their games on Friday, coming in first up on Saturday. Based on what you were saying, Zed, you feel like Legion are favourites?
I think Paris will win this one, for sure.
I'd give them it probably, yeah.
I reckon a 3-1. I think from what we've seen of the Paris players, I think their ability to just outslay Guerrillas will probably be the deciding factor. Fire's looking really good, and he was good last year. So, I mean, if he can just do his thing, I feel a team like Guerrillas will be good when they have control of a map. But if you've got players like Fire literally taking all your control away, that's when you're going to see the teams like Guerrillas just get beat down. In my opinion, I would like to see them do well. I don't want anyone to do bad, but yeah, I think Paris are going to probably outclass them, and they're probably going to have fun doing it as well. Probably 3-1 to Paris.
Zach, have you played against Fire or with them?
Never played against Fire in my career.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, from what I see.
Yeah, I just wanted that intel, to see what he's like on the map.
No, yeah,
it's all good.
It's a weird one.
That game, I do agree. Legion should win that game, but still, we really don't know the potential of Guerrillas at all. So we have to wait and see. That's why I find these predictions before any tournaments kind of hard, because it's pretty hard to go off scrims. But
yeah, agreed. It's tough to say. And the next matchup is Mutineers versus ULTRA, and this is another one where Guerrillas, Apathy went off for them and they won that series. Toronto ULTRA, Bance basically did the same thing. He dropped 70 kills over 2 hard points. He was going off. I'm not expecting him to do that again, right? So, that's why I'm kind of concerned for ULTRA that maybe if they don't have one player completely taken over, I think they're going to have a tough time, especially up against the Mutineers, which seem to be such a good squad with so much power on this team. Probably an underrated amount of slaying power, to be honest. So I think Mutineers take this 3-1, not because ULTRA's bad, but just because I think Mutineers are outside of the big three of FaZe, OpTic, and Empire. I think Mutineers are probably the most likely team to win an event, let's say.
Yeah, I do agree. In the long run, I think they'll be quite good, but I actually think ULTRA's going to win this game. I'm just going to go bold, because Mutineers, it's another one of those teams where we know that they're really, really good, and they looked good. They beat FaZe, but that was at the Kickoff Classic, and we just really don't know where each team is at. So I'm just going to take a punt and say ULTRA. Bance looks amazing this year, so yeah.
I think this series will come down to whoever wins the S&Ds. Again, I do think Mutineers are better, for sure. But, if Toronto can steal them S&Ds, then this series can go either way, because one team has to start on offense on control, and we all know how control is. So if Toronto get, I don't know who what decides that, or who's team A or who's team B, but, if Toronto can win that control and sneak them 2 S&Ds, then I think they can beat these guys for sure.
That'd be exciting to see, man. I'm looking forward to seeing some upsets. I'd love the Toronto to be good. Guys in that team are great. The final match of the Saturday is Los Angeles Thieves versus the New York Subliners. This is pretty interesting to me. On paper, I think I'm going to give it to Thieves, but I don't really know how good Subliners have been looking. It's a bit up and down. They had obviously this bit of a disaster where Zuma steps out, of course, and it does seem like, from what he said the last few days, he's hoping to return at some point. So maybe some positive news to those of you who, maybe listening who aren't aware. Like, I think he's trying to get everything sorted if he can and come back at some point in the future. But this team with Diamond Colin now, this entire squad, I'm just not sure it's going to be competitive for a little while. I think it'll take this team some time to get rolling. And Thieves maybe had more of a wake-up call, their 3-0 defeat to OpTic, than maybe Subliners 3-0 to defeat to Dallas, because maybe they were like, okay, it's Dallas, we just formed our new team, it doesn't matter too much, whereas Thieves probably have really put their heads down this last week. So I'll take Thieves here and maybe a 3-2. I can see a close one.
Yeah. Oh, go on,
I agree. Sorry, I think 3-1, 3-2, because Subliners we really don't know, and Thieves have looked a bit rough. So I think it'll be. I think Subliners will probably edge the Control and SND, and then I think Thieves take the other 3 maps.
Yeah. From what I played against DiamondCon, I mean, if that guy goes off, like, he might win them the series by himself, but he's really good with a sniper as well. So if that sniper comes back, then I'd probably start edging New York and these S&Ds, because sniping's honestly all about how good your sniper's doing. So, and they've got one of the best snipers in the game. So, it's interesting to me. I think LA Thieves will win this one, especially if they beat ROKKR. I think if they beat ROKKR, they hammer New York. I think that's just how it goes. If they lose to ROKKR, I think maybe they're a bit shaky. And that's when the cracks start to show. Because they probably think they should beat ROKKR. And players on that team, they've had history of, not being able to keep their cool. So I'm excited to see that one as well.
Yeah, I can totally see that. The first series of the Sunday is Ravens versus Surge. Again, I'm not predicting great things out of Surge, but they have a decent chance here, I think, against the Royal Ravens. They've been teamed with Parasite now for a little while. Not the ideal pickup, maybe, but I think they've been improving in scrims the last few days. So I might give it to Ravens in a 3-2. I don't think it's going to be convincing. But I'm not sure Surge quite have what it takes to beat these guys yet. But honestly, it could be close, thinking about it more.
Honestly, I thought Haggie's been looking really good in scrims. And even though... I don't want to say this. He gets very overconfident when he's in the league. And I guess fair enough, that's probably the reason why he was successful as well, and he's won events. But I see this London Royal Ravens team being really good, especially in the next few weeks, because of that honeymoon phase and because he's so motivated to play well. So I see them doing quite well, and I think, I'm going to give it a 3-1 to London.
I'd love to see it.
I actually really, I spoke to Sean, I actually really like this Parasite pickup. I think he was, I mean, you can look at the stats and the results, he was probably the most consistent AM last year. I mean, I say AM, I don't class him as an AM player, but he does. He classes himself as an AM. Well, he did. But he has a really good leadership, and in this team, Shawnee does the same thing. So I hope and pray that Parasite takes a step back and just lets Sean do it, because it'll make him and it'll make the team so much better if Parasite just does his little thing that he needs to do when he's in certain situations, but doesn't try and be that overall voice of a team. So I think that sometimes might let him down. And if a player's focusing so much on what everyone else is doing, they're not going to be focusing on themselves. So I hope he just focuses on himself. From playing with them a lot at the beginning of the year, Alex and Dylan are both incredible at this game. So I don't think they have any problems with slaying or, star factor. So I'm gonna go London 3-1. And like I said, I really like the pickup, and I just hope that he just takes a step back and just, does his thing, just takes this opportunity with, in full stride, and just proves to everyone why he should probably be in the league.
Yeah, I'd love to see that, man. Like, if this team goes down in flames again because of things like that, it would be really, I don't know, it'd be really unfortunate to see. I do hope he makes the most of this opportunity. So the final 2 games of the weekend are pretty heavy hitters. I mean, given we've already said LA Thieves versus ROKKR is probably going to be close. Empire versus ROKKR, we'd imagine it's going to go one way rather than the other. So I do think Empire take this. I think they're probably the strongest team in the game. ROKKR, I don't know. Maybe they can take a hard point here, but I'm going to say probably a 3-1 to Empire in this one line.
My opinion on these last 2 matches is that it really, really depends on the map set, honestly. Who gets offense on control, defense on control, probably wins that. These last 2 games are so close. They're the top 4 teams in the league. I think it's pretty obvious. And I think ROKKR is very underrated. A lot of people are putting Florida ahead of them, and I don't really see that. But yeah, honestly, I think these games could go either way. I think it's going to be a game 5 in Minnesota versus Dallas, and then for FaZe versus OpTic, who knows what's going to happen there, because that's always a crazy matchup, and it's the first time this year. It's first proper OpTic versus FaZe matchup since, maybe
Champs. They played them at Champs.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, Huntsman played them at Champs.
Huntsman played them at Champs.
Actual OpTic.
Okay, all right, yeah.
OpTic gaming. Since, what was it? CWL Anaheim 2019, I think. So that's huge. And I'm excited for both matches. But I don't really want to make predictions on these 2 matches because I think they're so map dependent heavy, and I just want to see good games, honestly.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, you've got arguably the top 4 teams playing against each other, and I mean, on any given week, both them games could be a final between 2 teams. So I'm just really excited to watch. Honestly, I want to see some good COD, and we got 2 absolute bangers to end the week. So yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of OpTic this year. I think they're really good. I mean, it's a bit biased though because I've seen them scrim so much compared to everyone else. They stream everything, so I love the players on FaZe as well. So I'm just like I said, I'm just excited to watch that match. Depending on who wins, I think the bragging rights probably goes as the best team in the game, whoever wins that match, until they play Dallas. So yeah, it's going to be a good weekend for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. So yeah, that FaZe OpTic match to finish things off. Just as the final thing we do on the episode, gonna need a name of who's gonna win that series from you lads. Because honestly, I don't really know. Like, both of these teams are so good. I just feel like in these pressure matches, I think OpTic have the edge to me. I think even though FaZe might be slightly better on paper, I just think that OpTic, especially early season, this is where they really shine. And these type of matches,
Formo's looking good as well.
He's looking real good, yeah. So I think I don't know. I feel like OpTic, I think it's going game 5 no matter what. But I think if there's one team that's going to clutch up, I might just give it to OpTic this time. In a few months' time, I'm not sure if that's the same deal, but I think for now, I'll give it to OpTic. What do you reckon, Lion?
I tend to agree, honestly. I think just like in BO4, and even if we're looking last year with the London home series that they beat Dallas in, they are very, very good under pressure, especially early. They seem to pick that up before everyone else. I think there's that Scump and Formal effect, the fact that they've won 30, well, Formal's won 23, Scump's won 30 championships. You get that mentality, and you nothing really would pressure them. So I think, I would take OpTic. But then you look at FaZe, and they've got the whole team as world champions apart from Salium. So who knows?
Yeah, I'm gonna go FaZe. I think after FaZe lost in the showcase, I think now they've got something to prove. Everyone's against them now because everyone's gonna, if they lose again, then everyone's gonna be saying about that they should be winning. Yeah, they're rubbish.
Yeah,
overrated.
So I think they're going to come out, and we know what Simp and Abizi are like when people are against them. They absolutely tear you apart. So yeah, I'm excited to see that.
Well, awesome stuff, lads. Thanks very much for joining me. That pretty much rounds out our episode number 4 of the Breaking Point podcast. Thanks, of course, for joining me once again. Any final words for those who are still listening, Zed? Congrats once again on the Challengers Elite qualification. Looking forward to seeing you in action later today.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, just if you're pursuing something in life, just don't let anyone tell you can't do it. I think everyone that's seen success can tell you that there's going to be haters no matter what happens. So yeah, just smile through the bad times and appreciate the good.
A beautiful note to end on.
Yeah,
absolutely phenomenal. Thanks all for watching, and we will see you next time.